Hi, I'm Lauren Irk and I'd like to welcome you to Fitness Integrated Science. If you're currently dealing with a knee problem, knee pain, knee injury, I'm going to show you some of my most favorite exercises to not only improve your knee joint stability, but also to reduce pain. Now, as an MAT specialist, I see clients all the time that are dealing with these types of things. And a lot of the reasons why our knees get beat up is because of where the knee is located in the body. You see, the knee is sandwiched between two areas of the body that are highly mobile. First of all, the ankle itself, as well as the foot, we see 54 joint surfaces, synovial joint surfaces, that can pick up all kinds of motions as we transform from pronation, we're giving into gravity, to supination, we're working against gravity. The foot is constantly diving down and in and going through a series of motions from the forefoot to the midfoot to the rear foot as we absorb the shock of the ground pushing up into us, as well as the body pushing down into the top of us. When we're always wearing shoes and our feet have become weaker, guess what happens when the feet can't do that properly? It translates right into the knee joint. That being said, on top of the knee, we have a hip joint. The hip joint is a ball and socket joint with 3 degrees of freedom. It can move in all different planes of motion, and it is actually attached into the pelvis, which attaches right into our spine. So if we can't pick up motions in our trunk and spine due to muscle weakness or previous injury, the knee a lot of times will pick up motions that it's not designed to do. Now, the knee joint itself is considered to be a two-jointed muscle. We have a joint where our kneecap is attached onto the femur, and then we have a joint where the bottom of the femur innervates with the top of the tibia. It has 2 degrees of freedom. Most likely you think of the knee as just straightening and bending, flexion, extension, and that's true, but we do have about 8 degrees or so of rotation when our knee is in a flex position and we translate that into an extended position. Little bit of rotation. Side to side motion, not at all. So when we think about the knee, we want to make sure that everything around that knee is nice and strong so that our knee does not have to pick up motions that it's not designed to do. So what I'd like to do is show you a couple of my favorite exercises to keep those joints strong around the knee, certain areas that I tend to see weak on a lot of people that have greatly enhanced someone's ability to have a much stronger, less painful knee. So I want to begin with the foot and ankle because that's kind of the place to start. We'll work from our bottom up. And we want to focus on the ankle. We have 2 distinct motions. We have this ideal of pointing the foot, which is plantar flexion, and then we have dorsiflexion, which is the flexing of the foot. When we think about pointing the foot, this brings in our upper and lower calf. The upper calf actually crosses the back of the knee and helps the knee to bend. The lower calf is what gives us that propulsive aspect of our gait so that we can walk across the floor. And we're always wearing shoes all the time. These muscles get weak. We're going to put that stress right into the knee. So I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite exercises to keep these muscles strong. Number 1, we have our calf raise. Now in a calf raise, all you need is some kind of a simple chair or hold on to a wall. You're going to spread your toes, keep them about hip width apart. Then we just roll up onto the balls of the feet, feeling that calf muscle tighten. Go as high as you can, hold that for a few seconds, and then come down. Now, if you choose that you'd like to go maybe below the level of the floor, you could certainly hang on to some steps or some kind of a block or something like this, where my heel is actually starting below neutral and then moves to the top. But I caution you to try to do a lot of passive stretching and hanging on your heel cords. The most important thing is that we are training our ankle to contract efficiently on demand, coming into a full contraction at the top and then slowly releasing it at the bottom. Now, from my lower calf, we could certainly do the same thing in the chair, and this would have to be done with the knee in flexion. So I would start with my knee about 90 degrees coming off the chair and then practice lifting my heels off the ground so that I can feel muscles engaging around my lower leg and foot. This can also be done with a block, hanging your heels off the edge if you wanted to start below neutral right? Coming to here and then rolling up onto your toes. And this is a great, great exercise to strengthen the foot and ankle. Now, the other motion that we want to focus on is called ankle dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion is actually done by lifting the top of the foot, moving it towards the lower leg. So I'm bringing the toes up to the shins and I'm feeling that contraction right across the top of the ankle. This can be done bilaterally or unilaterally depending on how you want to go. And it can also be done with your feet hanging off a block, much like we did when we had the plantar flexion exercise. The most important thing is that you are really working hard to bring that foot up as high as you can, getting a full contraction. When we train our shins to be stronger, that tibialis anterior, it's going to take a lot of stress off the knee. Because you think about it, every time we swing that leg through in a gait cycle, if we're unable to bring that foot along, we have to change planes of motion, which puts the knees in a very precarious position. Now, as we move away from the foot, we want to move into how we deal with the knee and the hip. Now, we have this one motion at the knee where we work on knee extension. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen in rehab situations where we're working on short arc and long arc quad situations where we're focusing on creating an adequate muscle contraction at the knee. When you're dealing with a very painful knee, these need to be probably done lying in bed where you're just holding your leg up and you're just lightly pressing your leg down into the bed, working on getting a contraction at that quad. Then over time, you can put an object under your knee and then just work on extending the knee and bending, and then eventually working towards that long arc like so. But did you ever recognize that some of the muscles that actually cross the knee also cross the hip at the same time? And when we don't have these larger muscles strong, it puts a lot of stress on the knee. Therefore, I love to also incorporate hip exercises while I'm doing my knee extension exercises. So they may look something like this, maybe starting off just lifting your knee. Lifting your knee. This is only working the hip flexors, and it's not even incorporating my knee so much. This can also be done from a standing position. So therefore, if I'm standing, having something to hold on to, you can see that I'm going from neutral, fully neutral, extended here, coming into a very wide arc. I'm not starting off at that 90-degree position. I'm starting off at 180 and then moving to my available range, working right up against gravity. Now, if you think about it, this is also, I'm just dealing with the lever length of my femur. If I wanted to deal with more load, I could actually try working with this straight leg, which is going to incorporate muscles that cross the knee and the hip, such as the rectus femoris, coming into that full flexion here. This is a great exercise, especially if you're someone that's currently dealing with some knee pain and you don't want to go through a bunch of bending and straightening. This, getting your knee fully extended, tightening muscles around the knee and the hip at the same time, and you can go as fast or as slow. I wouldn't go much faster than this. And just working on getting that leg up there and contracting, you wouldn't believe how much better your knee will feel after doing a few sets of these. Now, if we look at the back of the leg, we start moving into knee flexion, right? Knee flexion is another exercise that a lot of times you'll see people coming down to the ground and working on trying to bend that knee and slide their heel to their hip. But recognize that some of the muscles that actually bend the knee are being helped by muscles that actually extend the hip, such as the hamstrings themselves. So again, I could start off, now this isn't a great position because I'm in a standing position, but I could just start off by just slowly moving my leg straight back. Now this is a great exercise if you have a thigh band where you actually have resistance coming across your leg, but this is fine right here. And I'm just working on squeezing my gluteal muscles, which extend my hip and help my knee to bend a little bit as well. And actually, I'm just going to go backwards. If I go to here and bend the knee, you may notice that you lose some range of motion as you go back into hip extension. But that's a great exercise. Sometimes I like starting from a position a little bit bent over so you can see that my range of motion is a little bit bigger, but I'm just trying to create as much tension behind the knee and the hip at the same time. So it's great to isolate some of these motions, and it's also great to integrate some of these motions. And I'm just doing some body weight exercises, minimizing the stress across my joint itself. Now, when you think about motions at the hip that the knee is not capable of doing, one of my favorite exercises is the hip hike, which incorporates hip, ab, and adduction. Primarily abduction, the outer side of the hip. This is what actually absorbs gravitational forces and resists them, keeping us from falling. Every time we walk, we are actually stepping on one leg, and one leg is coming off the ground. And you can see that if I don't have a lot of strength and I fall and I catch myself, I'm going to put that knee in a precarious position. So if you would, just take one leg off the ground so you are standing on one leg. I would definitely suggest having something to hold on to. And just practice letting that hip drop, keeping your knee as extended and tight as possible, then working the outer hip, drawing that in and up, contracting into the outside of the hip, working in that abducted position, working on that tightening in the outer hip. This is going to help to offset some lateral stresses to the knee because we don't have this available to us at the knee. Anything that we can do to strengthen the outer hip will definitely help the knee to have less pain. Now, these exercises can also be done on the ground, especially if you're dealing with a situation where maybe standing up doesn't feel so good. So if you just come on down to your mat here. So if I'm starting off on the ground with both my knee and my hip in a flexed position, I start off just with moving my legs away from each other. So I'm in an abducted position. Then from there, I'm just going to start with working with external rotation. So bringing the feet together, you can see that now this femur bone is externally rotated in the hip. And I'm working some of the muscles that resist gravity, then bringing those legs together. So I'm here and here. And you've probably seen this as a clam exercise. I love this exercise with a belt on. You can also do the same exercise keeping the knees apart and moving the feet away from each other. This would be my internal rotation exercise. This will help a lot of that stress as the hip and ankle transforms from pronation to supination. I would definitely suggest incorporating some of those exercises, doing 1 to 2 sets a day or every other day maybe for about 8 to 10 reps and making sure that you are adequately squeezing those muscles. Lastly, make sure you're keeping your core strong in all the different motions of your core because that's going to translate into your hip, knee, and ankle. I hope that this video helped. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed. Share this video with your friends if you know anybody that we can help. And if you would like more information about programs like this, head on down below, take a look at Fitness Integrated Science TV, where I have hundreds of videos and programs that will help you not only with your knee pain, but many ailments in the body. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.